Every entrepreneur's journey starts somewhere, and for me, right here is where it all began. This was where I had my very first successful entrepreneurial endeavor. This is the same storage unit that I was flipping couches out of just 10 years ago. I was just driving by here. I didn't plan to make a video or anything, but as I drove by, I couldn't help but just remember all those times and think like, wow, that wasn't that long ago. 10 years is not a long amount of time. To go from starting my first business here to not knowing if it was gonna work out, and then to seeing success, to that leading to more success with flipping houses and opening other businesses and getting on social media, all that's happened in just 10 years. And so for me, when I look at my journey and when I think about young entrepreneurs who are just starting, people who are looking for another path, people who are looking for another career, it all starts somewhere with their origin story. I don't know where you're at today. I don't know if you've had a business that failed. I don't know if you've had a business that had success, but what I can tell you is the only way to keep going is by pushing forward and just keep doing the next thing. For me, I still remember renting out Suite 102 right there. That was my very first storage unit that I got. It was 10 years ago. I remember walking right in those doors and signing the lease for $150 a month, making the commitment. I bought a truck on Craigslist for $1,500 that I actually got screwed on. It had 100,000 more miles than what the person said it had. I just remember piling that thing up with couches, hoping that they would sell and I'd make a profit. As the story goes, it ended up working out. I ended up flipping a couch and making 200 bucks. I ended up buying another couch, and eventually I filled that unit up and my business was growing. I had to then go sign another lease in there for 150 bucks and get another unit right down the hall here. Then I had to get another unit and another unit. And as time went on, I figured out how to be an entrepreneur. I figured out how to find deals, how to negotiate, how to market, how to sell my products, and eventually how to get out of this and on to the next stage of my journey. But by no means was it easy. The reason I have so much fondness for this place is because I remember how hard it was while I was here. I remember going through all these couches and taking off the covers and cleaning them out. I remember pulling them out of the truck by myself with no help and then dragging them into the unit just so that I could store them properly, and just doing this all on my own with no help, no mentors, nobody else was doing this kind of business. I had to figure it out on my own. And I also remember realizing that this had a cap. I was only gonna be able to do so much here, and I had to figure out what my next move was gonna be. And for me, that was real estate investing. I always knew that one day, if I just had enough money, I could get into the real estate investing business. And it's funny because across the street here was a mortgage company. And I just remember always pulling out of this lot with my truck and saying like, man, if I just had like the money they had, I could go do real estate investing. Well, as it would turn out, I actually didn't need them or any of these other false beliefs. I actually had all the resources I need to get into real estate investing. And so I said, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. I need to first educate myself so I can then go take action. And that's exactly what I did. I was out here in Las Vegas driving about 3 hours a day, either picking a couch up or delivering. And I was just listening to podcasts day and night. I was literally eating, sleeping, and breathing real estate investing. Whenever I was cleaning a couch, I had my headphones in and the podcast on. Whenever I was delivering a couch, it was in the car. Whenever I was at home and I didn't have anything going on, I was listening to real estate investing because I knew I had to educate myself to get to the next level. And eventually, I learned enough. I learned enough to take that very first step and try and get that first deal. I had to max out my credit cards, and I'll tell you this, as I was going through that, it was a super scary time because I didn't know if house flipping was gonna work out or not. It was only a year prior that I took my first big risk and started this couch living business right here. And the confidence I gained from that allowed me to take the next big risk in my career and max out my credit cards and flip my first house. That ends up working out, and it leads to confidence to do the next thing and the next thing and the next business. And in turn, as I stacked up more wins, my confidence kept growing and I was able to try and do new things and have more success. But guess what? You're not always gonna have success. There's gonna be failures along the way. Not every couch I bought was profitable. Not every flip I bought was profitable. Not every business I started worked out and made money. I've lost a lot of money along the way. I've had no money in my bank account, having to figure out where I'm gonna get money to pay the bills and pay employees and everything else. I had to sell my personal home not once, but twice, just so that we could get the money to continue to grow the business and push forward. And that's the thing you're gonna have to start thinking about as you become an entrepreneur and as you start growing, is that what are you willing to sacrifice to get to the next level? Are you willing to sell your primary home, the home that you live in, the home that you grew up in? Are you willing to drive a piece of crap car so that you could save up the money and reinvest in your business? Are you willing to sell the thing that you love so dearly so that you can get to the next level? I can tell you this, I was every step of the way. I sold everything in order to get to this point. I had no emotional attachment to any of this stuff because my dreams were so big that I knew none of that stuff was important. And later on, I could have all that stuff if all of this succeeded. And today, it's happened. I bought my dream home, got my dream cars, we go on vacations, I've got a beautiful family, I'm continuing to start more and more businesses, we're buying more real estate, but it's all because of the sacrifices I made when I was here. And so for you, if you're just now starting your entrepreneur career, just realize you're gonna have to make sacrifices. It's not gonna be easy. You're gonna have to take leaps of faith to get to the next level. And guess what? It might not work out, and that's okay. Because with each failure, that is just another step towards success. It's not a loss, it's a lesson. You're learning what doesn't work so that you can do more of what does. In fact, for me, my biggest improvements were made from failure. You don't learn a lot while things are going good. You learn a lot once you actually lose money and things go wrong. So look, at the end of the day, you are going to have to take big risk in order to have big success. Nobody ever achieved anything great just playing it safe. And you're gonna have to have faith that this risk is gonna pay off. As entrepreneurs, we have to be extreme optimists because guess what? The odds are stacked against us. 4 out of 5 small businesses fail. So you have to have this unwavering belief that you are going to be the one of the 5, that you are going to start a business that's going to win. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't trade this life for anything. I wouldn't trade the failures, the successes, the wins, the losses. It's all been worth it. And for you, at the end of the day, you're gonna start your story somewhere. It might be in a storage unit like me, it might be in a house, it might be in an office, it might be in your garage, but you're gonna have to take the risk to take it to the next level. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're ready to scale up, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and I'll be putting out some content to help you.